All right, welcome back to the 5th edition of As I Remember. This is a unscripted, unresearched video series where I just talk about things the way I remember them. And this one, Banter, is, it's about banners and dot matrix printers or daisy wheel printers, or really any printer that worked with tractor feed or continuous feed paper, whatever you want to call it. And this really started out of Marcintosh because as typical Marcintosh tradition goes, you print things. And I've been working with some of my printers and working with Retrotech Chris with his printers and just printers and printers. And during this, I had some memories come back of the print shop, right? Or other programs that you would use to print, even KidPix, right? But what I think what I've come to the realization of is printers today suck. That they do one thing, they print. And they'll print on 8.5 by 11 or maybe legal or A1 or whatever our friends across the pond call it, right? But typically they print on one sheet of paper at a time. And we have lost the ability to print banners or really just use continuous feed printers with the modern printers we have, whether they're inkjet or laser. And like, I vividly remember in grade school, whether it was a holiday or somebody's birthday or just Wednesday, right? We would make a banner, right? Or even at home, like I would just make banners for whatever reason. There's no reason at all, right? You really can't do that today anymore. You could use Word, but then you got the margins and you crop it out. And there is a way to take an image and then print it on multiple, right? You could do it, take an image and then say, hey, I want this image to span, 3 sheets across, 5 sheets down. There's a word for that. I don't remember what it is right now. But you can do that, but then you have margins to worry about. And honestly, it doesn't look good. I remember in my college dorm, I did that. I did it with the deck plans for the Andrea Doria, and I had it on the side of my bed because at the time I was getting really big into technical diving, and diving the Andrea Doria is like the Mount Everest of scuba diving. And I thought, well, you know what? If I had these deck plans up every day, I would look at them and then I would understand the wreck better and be able to navigate. Never did dive the Doria. Did some other great wrecks, but never did the Doria. But the point is, that looked bad, right? Because it was probably 20 or 30 sheets of paper that I had to cut the margins out and then tape them together, and it looked crummy. And the only other option was to take that image, send it off to some print shop, and have them, blow it up for me. And realistically, a track-fed printer wouldn't do that any better, and I'm getting off topic, but that's how As I Remember goes. But we've missed this. We've missed the ability to make a banner. And when I was printing this one out, and it is in color, I printed this on my ImageWriter 2 from this GS using this version of Print Shop. My daughter came in and she thought this was the coolest thing, and we're actually going to make some banners for her. It's my youngest birthday coming up, and she wants to make him a birthday banner. And what a novel idea. How else are you going to do that unless you have a printer that can handle continuous feed track paper like this, and obsolete software on an obsolete system with an obsolete printer? You just can't do that anymore. And this is something we're missing as a society, the ability to make banners for no reason anymore, because printers have become cheap and disposable and just utter garbage. I have yet to have a good printer, a good modern printer, ever, really. I remember with like my Windows 95 machine growing up, I had this, it was a Lexmark printer. It's very streamlined. It looked kind of cool. It was an inkjet. It was horrible. Then I had some HP. Was there a compact branded printer? Maybe. I mean, they're all Lexmark anyway, right? But even today, the main printer that we have as a family, right, is a Brother. It's a laser jet, or no, it's a laser printer, and it prints perfectly fine, right? But it is flaky at best on Wi-Fi. For some reason, I can never print to it wirelessly, so I just have to go in and plug into it. That's just how printers are today. They're horrible. Even the printers at my office are horrible. Printers are just bad. They're horrible devices. They really are. Except for this plethora of dot matrix printers, which we're going to shift over a little bit and take a look at them on the desk. But I want to talk about these memories, and in the comments, talk about your memories of printing banners, because I think that people my age and older have very vivid memories of going into some sort of program, making a banner for an occasion, printing it, and then hanging it up, right? And whether you kept the tracks on or not, that was a personal choice. I always liked them on. I thought it made it stronger, or at least looked cooler. But you could put this in your classroom. You could put it in your home. Maybe somebody's coming back from a long trip. Welcome home, Dad. Right? Boom. We can print it and make it. And it's just something that I think today's kids are missing out. And just seeing my daughter's reaction when this printed out and understanding, oh, you're making a banner. Like, she thought that was really, really cool. And, it's funny when you think about it, because she's never been exposed to that before. And realistically, nobody her age, even my oldest, my 8-year-old, nobody his age has been exposed to these things, unless their parents have a bunch of old stuff laying around and print it out like me, which they probably don't. So, yeah, it's just I really enjoyed making these things, and I still enjoy making them today. And I think we're going to be making some more of them. So let's shift over and look at some of the printers, and then we might even just do a quick tour of the print shop and see what it was like making a banner, because it's a lost art. It really is. Now, these are just some examples of dot matrix printers that are capable of track feed paper. You have nice little compact desk ones here, like this Commodore 803. You got bigger ones like the Apple Image Writer, or this Panasonic, and of course there are even larger ones that you can find. A lot of people will ask, what is the right dot matrix printer for me, right? And like many things, especially people are like, hey, what CRT do I get? The best one for you is whichever one you can get, right? The caveat for some of these are it's what you can get and what is compatible with the machines you have. If you only have a Commodore 64, you're not going to want an image writer, right? If you only have Apples, you're not going to want a Commodore machine. If you are a Windows platform, you have a little more flexibility. But realistically, whatever you can get it, right? And, I'll say that these are pretty robust machines. You have to remember, these were made in an era where home printing was kind of a big deal. And it was something to, I don't want to say be proud of, but if you look at some of the Apple promotional videos, or at least the internal training videos about some of their printers, they always try to sell it as, we're giving print shop quality to the home user or small business user. And that was really a big selling point for a lot of these, because if you were a small business, right, it would be really nice to be able to print an invoice up with your letterhead on it and everything else and give that to a customer, vice writing it down, or having the ability at home to print out something. Maybe have your kids print out a school report, or print out something for work or taxes or anything else, right? It was probably revolutionary might not be the right term, but the ability to have an end user create something digitally on the computer and turn it into physical print media at a good cost at home with a decent speed was a big deal. It really was. And it's not like the printers we have today, where they are absolute cheap There's cost cutting built into them because the companies don't make money on the printers itself. They make money on the ink or the toner. And, you know, these machines, let's put it this way. This Image Writer 2 is probably 25, 30 years old. Same thing with these. We'll get another 25, 30 years out of this. The Brother printer that I have upstairs, which is the main printer for our house, I think I'll be lucky if I get another 5 years out of that thing, right? None of these machines I've had to do anything for. I got this actually from my elementary school. I've never done anything to it other than new ribbon. Same thing with these two, the two Commodore printers. There's a little bit of rust on this guy. I just cleaned it up and it worked. This Panasonic was actually a gift from my friend RetroTech Chris. It worked first time. Again, these things were built like tanks, and you know, just the ability to go in and print something out is just amazing, especially in a banner like that. But this is the end product. This is the middleman. How do we get here, right? How do we get to the banner? So let's look at just one program, right? There are many programs out there that would allow you to print banners, because that's what this video is about, right? You don't have to use any program I have, but there's a lot of programs out there, and you have a lot of options to get into printing banners. So let's take a look at how I make these. All right, so here we are in the print shop for the Apple II GS, and this is a really great program because it's not the most full-featured one out there. It doesn't have all the bells and whistles, but it is easy. You can turn it on, bang something out, print it, and have a card in your hand. And it does everything, right? Greeting cards. Do we want to sign a letterhead? No, we want a banner, because that's the best part about this. So we're going to click on the banner, and there's some pre-built stuff, or we can design our own, or ready-made, or something from another disk. So let's design our own. We want horizontal. Let's do multicolor trim, because we have that card. And there's a bunch of trim that you can go through. We can do more choices, or you can do it from another disk. There's multiple disks for the print shop, so you can, you know, just go through and load hundreds of different banners and pictures and everything else. So I want my more choices. That's kind of cool. Look at that lightning. Let's go with that. What's Fiesta? Ooh, that is nice. So we'll do a Fiesta trim. We'll go forward, picture, so we get our graphic, right? We can have pictures on it. We can do number if we know the number from it, or load it from a disk. But let's just take a look at what they have on this disk already. Cake, balloons, sun, sunset. That's kind of nice. I don't want a second graphic. So now we can, let's spread this out a little bit. No, we'll have it tight. We'll have it tight on there. So if you had other pictures, you could stagger these. Maybe have a different picture here, or whatever you want. Let's go forward. What font do we want? Go forward. And then you can just add whatever you want. Preview it. Look at that, rendering it. That looks really nice. Oh, where's my words? Where is my words? It missed it. Oh, maybe because I didn't pick it so far? I never preview it. I just go straight forward and send it to the printer. Maybe that's the way it's supposed to look. I don't know. Go forward. Let's do, yep, go forward. Maybe now? There we go. Look at that. Yeah, because I didn't render the whole thing. And if we printed it, it would look just like this. And that is how easy it is to make a banner. Man, kids these days, they're missing out. And there you have it, right? I think we're going to wrap this up. hey, dot matrix printers, continuous feed paper. What more do you want? I think it's a very nostalgic thing for multiple reasons. One, because you're using an older machine to create it. You're using older style paper. You can still buy this paper. You can still buy track paper. I bought all the paper here at Staples not that long ago, right? But what really ties it all together is the sound of these printers going. I think growing up, I always envisioned, and it was probably influenced a lot by television and movies, but like offices sounded like dot matrix printers, right? That's what business was like. There was always a dot matrix printer somewhere doing something, right? Printing out stock tickers or something. I work in an office. My office sounds nothing like this because we have all laser printers and it's incredibly quiet. But I think in my mind growing up, the sound of a dot matrix printer doing its thing was incredibly iconic, or just the sound of like somebody, separating the paper, like ripping it off at the perforation. That was business. That was important. That was, big time stuff, right? And growing up, because that's what the media showed in television and movies. So it's great to be able to do these and have the whole plethora of nostalgia from input to output, the paper, the sounds, the tactile keys, designing everything. That's what it's about, right? And that's why I got into this hobby and collect these and keep them working, and so I could share it with people and share it with you, because some of you out there might be of an age where you've never had one of these printers. You've never experienced it. Or maybe you have experienced it, but you don't have one, right? And it's great to be able to share that with you. All right, well, I think that's going to wrap this episode up. What do you think about dot matrix printers? What do you think about banners? Let me know in the comments below. This is an iconic sound. In my mind growing up, this is what a professional business sounded like. Just printers going everywhere and paper flopping around. I absolutely love this, and I'm glad I get to share it with you. If you like what we're doing here at Retro Tech or Die, like, subscribe, tell your friends, and we'll catch you next time. I love it.